yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then taste it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and we got a rather humid and rainy day here in the suburbs of New Jersey, but we are still here, ready to rock and roll, and we are set to talk about the week in terms of pro wrestling. We have a lot of material, as per usual, to talk about, but we are going to close out the month of September with a bang as we head into the final quarter of 2024. As, of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the Best Damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle, known to mankind. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, September 28th, 2024. Thank you very much for stopping on by. I greatly appreciate you. It definitely means a lot, and we got plenty, and I mean plenty of material to dissect here today, including Daniel Garcia and the fact that his AEW contract is expiring next month. He has still not re-signed a new deal, and apparently AEW is less confident that he will. Alexa Bliss, she could be returning to professional wrestling, but when? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the fact that AEW pay-per-views, they are leaving Bleacher Report. They will be expanding to other pay-per-view streaming platforms. Where is Shinsuke Nakamura? We're going to talk about that. Rey Fenix just recently had his contract extended by AEW due to injury time. AJ Styles, his contract is set to expire reportedly in the early stages of 2025. And Jey Uso beats Braun Breaker. Where is Braun Breaker going after this loss? And I got a lot to say as to why Braun Breaker losing to Jey Uso was a horrible creative decision, and no one should be in support of this decision, and those who are nothing more than marks blinded by their own fandom. All that and so much more right here on the Lightning Flash update to close out the month of September. September has been a tremendous month for the DJ Storms brand. This has been the best month for overall viewership probably since June. I have not had this good of a month since June. We are well over what I expected us to be. We are over 15,000 views for the month of September. Hopefully, we can get to over 17,000 views and hopefully break the record for the month of June. That would mean a lot if you guys would do that. Please make sure, if you haven't already done so, to share the stream out on all platforms. Holy fuck! I had to stop my intro right in the middle of it because, my lord, Raging Girl Gamer just dropped a $50 bomb, my first ever $50 bomb by Raging Girl Gamer, showing her love and support to DJ motherfucking Storms. Holy shit. Let me tell you something. When it comes to being the number one fan, when it comes to being the number one advocate for DJ Storms, I'm telling you, no one, and I mean no one does it like Raging Girl Gamer. You are absolutely fucking fantastic. Thank you very much for the $50 bomb. And I hope that you enjoy the stream because we got a lot to say on that. We have a lot to say regarding all the major topics in professional wrestling. If you guys want to support, just like Rage is supporting, obviously all you need to do, hit the super chats, hit the super stickers, hit the super thanks, or become a member of the channel like Raging Girl Gamer has been, the longest running member of the DJ Storms community right here on YouTube.com. She is absolutely fucking phenomenal in every sense of the word. Thank you for the $50 bomb, Rage. If you can't donate any super chats or super stickers or super thanks, then all you need to do is follow me on social media, whether it be on X or Instagram. Whether it may be on X or Instagram, all you need to do is search me up at HistoryMaker DJS. One more time, at HistoryMaker DJS, both on X and Instagram. You can also add me on my personal Facebook. And yes, I will give you the logo. I will send you the logo in DMs. I'll send you my logo in DMs, and you can put that on a poster. And Raging Girl Gamer, holy shit, she just doesn't fucking stop. This woman just doesn't fucking stop. She's going to Bad Blood next Saturday, and she dropped the $50 bomb and gifted 5 DJ Storms channel memberships. My fucking Lord. She is absolutely unbelievable. I hope that you and your husband are having a great weekend, Miss Raging Girl Gamer, and I hope that you have a great time next week at Bad Blood. I better see your ass up here in Jersey. You're supposedly going to be in Washington, D.C. in December. Your ass better be right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey on Saturday, October 19th for history when Battle in the Borough takes over the Elmwood Park Rec Center. Believe me, you're going to want to be a part of history. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me get back to my intro. You can add me on my personal Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. All you need to do is send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. You can also like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook as well. All the links are in the description, as well as the link to my Rumble. We're live on Rumble right now, looking to build a nice, solid fan base over on Rumble. If you can, show me some love over on Rumble. In addition to that, please make sure, if you haven't already done so, to get your tickets for Battle in the Borough, you can Venmo me at DJ Storms. Link is in the description. Or you can Cash App me. The link is also in the description. The DJ Storms is the link specifically. You can also like the stream, no matter where you're watching it from, whether you're watching it on X, whether you're watching it on YouTube, whether you're watching it on Facebook or Rumble. Share the stream out on all platforms of social media. Get as many people in here as possible so that way we can have more people like Raging Girl Gamer in the chat every single week, because I am on the grind all the time, showing you why I am the smartest man alive when it comes to professional wrestling analytics. Also, please make sure, if you haven't already done so, get your DJ Storms merch. Like Raging Girl Gamer, she has all the DJ Storms merch. She's got the t-shirt, she's got the wristband, and of course, she's got the greatest piece of merch that anyone will ever own, the DJ Storms black switchblade comb. And just like me, she can be so good. She can be scrumptious, delicious, and tasty, just like me. And just like everyone wants a piece of the Stormsmeister, everyone's going to want a piece of her, and everyone's going to want a piece of you, but you're going to have to get this comb. You can Venmo me or Cash App me if you would like to purchase the greatest piece of merch that you will ever own. Look at how good my fucking pompadour is. I swear to God. Swear to God, my pompadour is always on point. Always on point. In addition to that, I would also like to shout out a couple of sponsorships before we get into the news, rumors, and reports. My most recent sponsorship that recently joined the team of sponsors is Access Self-Storage. Now, I'll tell you this. Moving can be very stressful. It can be. Trust me, I know. But I'll tell you what, Access Self-Storage is going to work hard to take the stress out of moving for you. They are the innovators and the originators of the self-storage industry. They have been around for decades, and I'm telling you, if you guys are looking to make moving a lot more easy, a lot more comfortable, Access Self-Storage is the company that you want to contact. You don't believe me? Well, all you need to do is take a listen to your boy as I explain to you why Access Self Storage will be the correct company to help you move into your new home. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I got a question for you. How would you like to take the stress out of moving? At Access Self Storage, they understand that moving can be extremely overwhelming, which is why they have designed their buildings for maximum convenience and security. As a family-owned business since 1976, they are the originators and the innovators of the industry. Matter of fact, they opened up the first ever self-storage facility in the greater New York and New Jersey metro area. At Access Self Storage, they listen to what the customer values most, and they offer things such as individual door alarms, extended access hours, free package acceptance, and so much more. So come on in, see my friend Colleen, and tell her that DJ Storm sent you. Access Self Storage. Everything else is just a hole in the wall. And yes, everything else is indeed just a hole in the wall, because Access Self Storage, they got them all beat. Thank you very much to Colleen and all the team members over at Access Self Storage for being the newest sponsor for Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. I'd also like to send out a special thank you to Rich Budnick. Rich Budnick of America's Pastime Baseball Card and Sports Memorabilia Store. I'm telling you, this guy is unbelievable. He has the latest vintage and newest baseball cards, hockey cards, basketball cards, football cards, as well as signed pieces of merch and equipment throughout all the decades. He is unbelievable. He has built this brand since 1989, and it's only becoming bigger. He has had thousands of happy online customers since 2003. So if you guys are looking for some great sports memorabilia, America's Pastime is the place for you. You don't believe me? Sit back, pull up a chair, listen to your boy as I tell you why America's Pastime is the top of the line when it comes to sports memorabilia. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I got a question for you guys. You ever wish you can go back and relive some of those great sports memories of your favorite player or team from when you were a kid? Well, now you can by paying a visit to America's Pastime. Now, since 1989, America's Pastime has been the premier sports memorabilia store in the tri-state area. Conveniently located just 20 minutes away from the George Washington Bridge right here in Bergen County, New Jersey, America's Pastime has a vast inventory of collectibles spanning close to 100 years. They carry vintage and current baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, as well as autographed items for any generation of fans. And their roster is matched only by the quality of their collection. And with thousands of happy online customers since 2003, America's Pastime is a perennial all-star in this game. So whether you're just getting into sports collectibles for the first time ever, or you're a serious buyer focused on quality sports memorabilia, you can come on in and see my friend Rich Budnick, and he'll show you the things that you never even dreamed were available to you.
Now, we don't always wear sunglasses here at America's Pastime, so I'm going to take mine off. We carry vintage and modern cards for our customers. I promise you'll get service with a smile, and you'll see some very interesting things here at my store, America's Pastime. We've been in business for 36 years. We've had a retail store for 36 years. We carry supplies. We carry commons and minor stars, as well as wax boxes and packs. You're going to come in here, and you're going to get choices. So come on over and check us out if you haven't for the first time. And if you have, come on back and see all this beautiful vintage and modern cards that we carry. Jackie Robinson, Ty Cobb, Roberto Clemente. How about that?
America's Pastime, where your favorite sports memories come back to life. And your favorite sports memories will indeed come back to life in America's Pastime. Thank you very much to Rich Budnick for supporting Battle in the Borough and being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. We greatly appreciate you, and I hope to see you on Saturday, October 19th at Battle in the Borough. If you guys are into some great Italian specialties, I got the place for you, because I got a place that's just a short walk away from my house here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. It is called Taste of Italia. They have been around for over 30 years, and Taste of Italia has been the top-tier premier brand for all Italian cuisine right here in the town of Elmwood Park, New Jersey. They carry great subs, wraps, pasta, and so much more. Hell, I even got served a nice sandwich over from Taste of Italia. And if you still don't believe me, here is me reacting to Taste of Italia and the wonderful sub that was prepared for me not that long ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys are in the mood for some mouth-watering Italian specialties, I'll tell you where to go. You see, there's boring delis, there's overrated sandwich shop chains, and then there's Taste of Italia. Since 1993, Mike Rogan's Taste of Italia has been the go-to place in Bergen County for hot and cold subs, wraps, pasta, and so much more. Whether you just need a quick lunch, meal for the family, or top shelf catering for your office function, you know that you're always going to get the best from Taste of Italia. So come on in, see Mike and his team of sandwich craftsmen as they celebrate 30 plus years of eating excellence. Taste of Italia, still the best thing between sliced bread. That is good. And that was indeed pretty fucking good. I am not going to lie. Raging Girl Gamer, I swear to God, she's interrupting my intro, she's interrupting my sponsorships, but she's interrupting it with a good cause. Another $10 super chat. Love your motivation. You give me motivation to keep streaming myself, and please don't ever stop what you're doing. Thank you for always being you. Thank you very much for the support. Trust me when I tell you, it is very humbling because I don't really see myself as much. I'm just a common kid from the suburbs of New Jersey with a sideburn chin strap combo and a mustache that screams into a camera about professional wrestling for 2.5 hours every Saturday. But the fact that I give you motivation, that really, really means a lot to me. Thank you very much, Raging Girl Gamer. And again, I really do hope to see you on October 19th if you can make it. And of course, you're going to have to check out some of these places over here in Jersey because I'm telling you, these places are great. And I'll tell you what, if you're not in the mood for any Italian cuisine and you want to give Taste of Italia a break, you could take a spin on over and get some Mediterranean food because I got a great place for you. Juicy Platters in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. They make amazing Middle East and Mediterranean food. And I'm telling you, it is the food that your soul will crave. I'm telling you, it excites more than just your taste buds. Telling you, it will excite all of your senses. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Trust me when I tell you, you're going to want to listen to this little message from your boy, DJ Shizzle Dizzle, as to why you should check out Juicy Platters for all great Mediterranean cuisine. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about a very special place that I go to eat. You see, when I'm sick of eating tired old pizza dishes and the played out Chinese food dishes, I go and take a spin on over to Juicy Platters. And you see, Juicy Platters is an exciting, fast-growing brand focused on great people, great food, and of course, great culture. Since 2011, they've been serving up Mediterranean-inspired offerings made with halal ingredients. And their mission is to spread love through stellar guest experiences and delicious food. From rice, to chicken, to veggies, they layer fresh flavors with colorful spices and sauces made from the Mediterranean and the Middle East to create vibrant and unforgettable dishes. Here, they believe that the food should excite all of your senses. So come on in, see my friend John Diaz and all of the great team members right here at their Fair Lawn, New Jersey location. Juicy Platters. This is the food that your soul craves. Trust me, your soul will indeed be craving some juicy platters more and more often you go to that place. Thank you very much to John Diaz and all of the team members over at Juicy Platters for being an official sponsor for Battle in the Borough and being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. Atlanta food is really that terrible, Rage. Really, Atlanta food is really that terrible. Let me tell you something. I'm in New Jersey. New Jersey is undoubtedly the food capital of the United States. We got all the great foods over here. Chinese food, Italian food, Mediterranean food, Greek food, every type of food. It's great. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself here. We're going to go over some more sponsorships later on, and I'm going to shout out a couple more people as the stream continues. But we're 20 minutes into the stream. We got some material to talk about. Let's talk about some news, rumors, and reports, shall we? Let's start off with Daniel Garcia. Dave Meltzer, he provided the wrestling world an update on Daniel Garcia and his contract status. He stated, and I quote, "As far as what's going to happen with him, Daniel Garcia, I would say surely or strong confidence that he was signing. I wouldn't say that it's as strong. I wouldn't say that he's leaving either, but it's not as strong as it was a month ago," end quote. So pretty much what Dave Meltzer is saying is that the confidence that AEW management had that Daniel Garcia would re-sign with AEW, it is not as strong as it was a couple of weeks ago. They thought that he was going to re-sign prior to All Out, prior to fighting MJF in that great match to kick off the show. That did not happen. And we got the ending that we got with MJF going over and Daniel Garcia, I guess you could say, getting some redemption where he gave MJF a low blow and a pile driver and left through the crowd. We don't know what's going down. And I've talked about this before. Daniel Garcia is caught between a rock and a hard place. Daniel Garcia is caught between a rock and a hard place as we speak for multiple reasons. Number one, he could sign and go to WWE. He could. But I would like you all to think about this, and no one seems to want to challenge me on this. And I know why, because they know I'm right. Daniel Garcia goes to NXT. He'll have a semi-decent run over there. You could take a look at a lot of people. They've had a lot of decent runs over in NXT. But when you get called up from NXT and you go to the main roster, even under Triple H, what exactly are you going to achieve? Look at DIY. Look at Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Are they any better off on the main roster than they were in NXT? Now, granted, there are some bigger stars on the main roster than there are in NXT, but I mean, holy shit. Tag team wrestling was in a much better position prior to this year's WrestleMania than last year's WrestleMania. What about Dakota Kai? What about Tegan Nox? What about Kairi Sane? What about Io Sky? You really think Io Sky's best usage is fighting Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the women's tag team championships? We've already been down that road. We've been down that road time and time and time again. What about Baron Corbin? Baron Corbin essentially resurrected his career in NXT. What is he doing now? He may be tag teaming with Apollo Crews, but like I said before, tag team wrestling ain't a priority on WWE TV. What about Carmelo Hayes? Listen, the matches that he's been putting on with Andrade have been great. Do not get me wrong. Do not misconstrue anything that I'm saying. Those matches have been pay-per-view worthy matches. But holy shit, we have seen six Andrade and Carmelo Hayes matches within the last 2 months. Talk about fucking overkill. And they're not even trying. They're not even trying to make any of the matches different. It's not like one match is a 2 out of 3 falls match, or one match is a falls count anywhere match, or one match is a tables match, or a street fight, or a strap match, so on and so forth. It's the same thing. 6 one-on-one matches for the last 8 weeks between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Is Carmelo Hayes only being booked to face Andrade? When is Carmelo Hayes going to fight someone new? I don't really get it. I don't. Can anyone else answer me why exactly aren't these NXT stars succeeding on the main roster even under Triple H? Even Braun Breaker, he won the Intercontinental Championship, right? He lost it within 51 days to Jey Uso. I got a lot to say about that, trust me, don't get me wrong. But Daniel Garcia, he's conflicted to go to NXT because if he goes to NXT, he'll probably have a solid run over there. But what is he going to do when he gets to the main roster? Has Triple H given you any confidence that he's going to book the undercard correctly? No. I have said this at least 2 or 3 times every single time. Gunther is an exception to the rule, Ian. Gunther is an exception to the rule. Gunther and Tiffany Stratton right now are the only individuals that came up from NXT right now under Triple H that are actually being booked correctly. Gunther's already a made man, so he's not even a part of that category anymore. Gunther has outgrown NXT. But that's why Daniel Garcia is conflicted to go to WWE. Now, as far as the AEW aspect goes, there is a place for Daniel Garcia on AEW TV. However, the problem with AEW TV, and I've talked about this numerous amounts of times, it's the fact that Tony Khan is doing way too much on his own to a point where he gets overcrowded and overwhelmed with all this other shit, and he's not delegating responsibilities to other people. He is not letting other people take some weight off of his shoulders so that way the show will flow a lot better, the show will come off a lot better, things will be easier to follow, and he can develop plans for each and every single major star that he wants to build up going into the future. Daniel Garcia has had a year where he has been a prime, and I mean a prime individual in the spotlight. He's been put in a lot of big matches. He's been fighting a lot of big individuals, and he's been getting a lot of big wins. But Daniel Garcia, he clearly sees the difference between AEW 3 years ago and AEW now. The more people that Tony Khan brought in and the more responsibilities that Tony Khan brought on, he became more disorganized. He has way too much pride, way too much ego, and he's refusing to ask for help. I said it once, I'll say it again. You can't succeed without help in this world. I would not be where I am if I didn't take some advice and I didn't have help getting to where I am with this brand. You think I could do this on my own? No. My father's helped me. Thunder has been a great influence as to why I have been so successful here. Savage as well, with the Savage Storm show. Hopefully we should be getting back to that next week. But Savage as well. No one is going to be able to succeed in the world without help. And Daniel Garcia clearly sees that Tony Khan is overwhelmed, the show is disorganized, and there's no guarantee that Tony Khan is going to find the time to book him in the proper roles. So I genuinely feel bad for Daniel Garcia. I do. And if they end up losing Garcia, that is going to be on Tony Khan. Because Tony Khan needs to get everything in order. Tony Khan needs to organize the show better. As far as Triple H goes, listen, if they want to go to NXT, they want to go to WWE, fine. But when they get to the main roster, there is a good chance, matter of fact, at least an 80 to 85% chance that they're not going to succeed on the main roster and they're not going to be portrayed in the light that they want to be portrayed in. And it sucks because I know that both companies can be doing better. Speaking of someone who has not necessarily been booked her best, Naomi. Naomi, she recently just lost a match to Bayley last night on SmackDown when she should have won. Naomi should have won that match. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. But Naomi was in the news. Nothing too major, but it's been thrown around by Fightful that there are reports that Naomi has been considered by Creative to join the Bloodline. Now, I'm not really sure where they would go there, to be fair. But I'll tell you what, if you really want to make things interesting, Roman Reigns is obviously going to recruit Jimmy and Jey. Roman is obviously going to recruit Jimmy and Jey Uso to his team for the inevitable Bloodline Civil War Games. Because that's coming in November. So I guess if they want to, they could definitely play up a little bit of mind games, and Solo could very well manipulate Naomi to go and join his bloodline to kind of get inside Jimmy's head. I wouldn't necessarily mind that at all. Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was in the news this week. Alexa Bliss's Lily doll was shown in a backstage segment with Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, and Adam Pearce this past Monday on Raw. This sparked some rumors that Bliss could be returning to the ring and Liv would retain the title over Rhea Ripley at Bad Blood and enter into a feud with Alexa Bliss. PW Insider reported that this is currently not the case. PW Insider stated, and I quote, Alexa Bliss is not currently scheduled for any immediate return as of now, according to WWE Creative. One source remarked that they didn't expect her to return until after the holiday season, and with the current creative regimen, they maximize everything they do. I mean, that's an understatement. But continuing, so there's no need to rush anyone or any story onto television. End quote. Listen, the whole issue with maximizing everything with the current regime, if you really want to get serious, they over-maximize shit. They have over-maximized the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan feud. They have over-maximized the Andrade Carmelo Hayes matches. They have over-maximized Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline. They have over-maximized that shit. Everything that comes off on WWE TV, at some point, it ends up overstaying its welcome. That's one thing that Triple H needs to really, really focus on. But regardless, Alexa Bliss not coming back to TV, listen, you're not going to hear a single complaint about me because the longer that Alexa Bliss is away from TV, the happier I am. Alexa Bliss, her Lily doll, was supposedly shown in a backstage segment with Liv, Dominic, and Adam Pearce on Monday Night Raw last week. There were rumors that she could be coming back to TV. PW Insider has shut those rumors down. Good. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about Alexa Bliss. You could love her, you could hate her all you want, but she adds absolutely nothing to TV. Alexa Bliss has gotten lazier and lazier since she got called up to the main roster. She does not offer anything from an in-ring perspective, and after everything that happened with Alexa Bliss and how lazy and how terrible she is from an in-ring perspective, the longer she's away from TV, the better. And if Alexa Bliss is going to come back to TV at the beginning of 2025, she should be used to put over other talent. If anything, Alexa Bliss right now, she's like the smaller, petite version of Charlotte Flair. Longer Alexa Bliss is away, the better. Moving on here, I got a report regarding the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. Well, apparently, there is some news going around, according to WrestleVotes, that WWE is reportedly planning on changing the Viking Raiders' name back to the War Raiders. Now, I am certainly all for this. Let's be honest here. Changing their name back to the War Raiders is a very, very good decision. If anything, the name should have never been changed back in 2019. That was partially the death of Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. That was partially the death of them because they changed their name. They went from the War Raiders to the Viking Experience to the Viking Raiders, and then they named their finisher the Viking Experience. It was a complete fucking mess. However, I need to pose this. I do. I need to pose this to everyone who is wondering, well, what is going on with the War Raiders should they change their name? How is this going to make a difference? And I'm here to tell you that it's not. Reportedly, the Viking Raiders, their names are going to be changed back to the War Raider names, Hanson and Rowe, and the tag team name is going to be the War Raiders. You know, that's fine and all. That's fine and all. The name should have never been changed to begin with. However, I want everyone to think about this. What is this going to do for them in the long term? Because I've stated once, I'll say it again. WWE is not taking tag team wrestling seriously. And no, a triple threat ladder match between the Profits, DIY, and the Bloodline, that is not going to help enhance the tag team division. We need competitive tag team wrestling on a weekly basis, and we're not getting that. So we could have the Viking Raiders name change back to the War Raiders all we want. But at the end of the day, the question is, are they going to take tag team wrestling seriously? And based on what they've been doing following WrestleMania 40, the answer is no. A name change is fine, but the creative direction, that is the most important thing. AEW pay-per-views. What is going on with AEW pay-per-views? Well, apparently, they are moving off of Bleacher Report. Sean Ross Sapp reported that they are indeed moving off of Bleacher Report. They're going to be on Fight and Thriller TV, YouTube pay-per-view as well, payperview.com. As we can see, the pay-per-views are available elsewhere at this very moment, and I'm assuming that they're going to be moving to Max. And you know what? That right there is going to be the most important thing, because the AEW pay-per-views, those are going to gain more viewers and traction for the AEW fan base when they move to HBO Max. We need to have great exposure for AEW, and doing the regular pay-per-views is not really going to do that. They could if they want to, but pay-per-views on HBO Max, that is what's going to drive up the HBO Max subscription, and that is what is going to strengthen the relationship of AEW TV with HBO Max and Time Warner. That right there is going to make the relationship stronger, and that is what is going to get more eyes on the product. All they need to do now is focus on the structure and continue with the great marketing. And once they do that, things will flow a lot better for that company. So expanding to other pay-per-view platforms, leaving Bleacher Report, I got no issue with that. I don't understand why anyone would have an issue with that. I'll tell you what I do have an issue with, though. Shinsuke Nakamura is not on TV. Why? I don't know. According to Sean Ross Sapp, because he reported about Shinsuke Nakamura as well. Shinsuke Nakamura is not injured. He's not injured at this moment. He just isn't being used by WWE Creative. And that was the same scenario with AJ Styles up until next Friday, because AJ Styles is making his return to SmackDown next Friday. What is going on with Shinsuke Nakamura? I don't know. Have they given up? Have they given up on Shinsuke Nakamura? It looks like it. It very well looks like they may have given up on Shinsuke Nakamura. It's actually quite pathetic how they don't have anything for Shinsuke Nakamura at this moment. I'm not saying you got to make him a world champion, but I mean, come on. Shinsuke Nakamura does have value to offer from an in-ring perspective. So hopefully we'll be seeing Shinsuke Nakamura back on TV sooner rather than later. Dave Meltzer. Meltzer's a 50-50 shot when it comes to getting his reports correctly, but I still respect Meltzer. I appreciate Meltzer. Dave Meltzer. He reported that Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship this past Monday on Raw, which, by the way, was a terrible, and I mean a terrible fucking decision. Terrible decision. Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship was the start of a new plan for Braun Breaker, because WWE is apparently planning on turning Braun Breaker into a babyface. Yes, I know, you heard me correctly. Braun Breaker is now going to be a babyface. Listen, we're going to get more into why the decision was a bad decision and why no one should be in support of it a little bit later on. But as far as this singular report goes, why are we turning Braun babyface now? You do realize that Braun Breaker actually works better as a heel, right? Braun Breaker, his character works better as a heel because he can be a rough and tough badass that can kick anyone's ass at any given moment in time. He's got the makeup of a heel. He's got the facial expressions of a heel. Why are we turning him babyface? Just because people do the dog noises every single time he comes out? This is the same exact mistake that they made with Bobby Roode back in 2017. They turned Bobby Roode into a babyface just because people were singing along to his theme song. Why are we turning Braun Breaker into a babyface? If you're asking me, the issue is quite obvious, and it's the same issue with what's going on with Cody on Friday Night SmackDown, you know, the one thing that no one really wants to talk about. According to Dave Meltzer, take it with a grain of salt, he's not always correct, he's usually 50-50. But according to Meltzer, WWE, they had Jay take the title off of Braun Breaker on Monday because apparently he's turning babyface. Braun is going to turn into a babyface. Why? I don't understand. Braun works better as a heel. Then you take a look at the landscape of Raw. I mean, it's quite obvious why they're trying to turn Braun into a babyface. It's because, similar to what's going on with Cody on SmackDown, WWE does not have any challengers for Gunther and the World Heavyweight title on Monday Night Raw. If this is true, that's why Braun is turning babyface. That's why they did Sami Zayn. That's why they are having Sami go after Gunther now, when Sami realistically should be the one built up over the course of the next year and a half to take the title off of Gunther. WWE pulling out a decision right out of their ass because they don't want to do what needs to be done. It is very, very frustrating sometimes. It really is. Very, very frustrating. They don't need to turn Braun Breaker babyface. We wouldn't be in this scenario if they actually built up. They built up people over time, and they invested in more people other than the main stars. You take a look at all the main stars, everyone else is already occupied on Monday Night Raw. Drew and Punk are in a feud. Balor and Priest are in a feud. Rey Mysterio hasn't been built up enough. Dragon Lee hasn't been built up enough. You're not going to do Sheamus yet. He's stuck in a feud with Pete Dunne. Don't really know what we're doing here. I really don't know what we're doing here. But Braun Breaker apparently is going to turn babyface. Why? It's because they don't have any challengers for Gunther. The Lucha Bros. The Lucha Bros. You know, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of chatter about the Lucha Bros. They could be going to WWE. Apparently, I believe it was WrestleVotes that said that they were already in the production of masks and merchandise for the Lucha Bros going to WWE, and they're going to start on the main roster. They're apparently still signed to AEW. And according to Fightful, it was being reported that AEW will be adding injury time to Rey Fénix's contract. Now, according to Sean Ross Sapp, there was no straight answer as to the motivation behind it other than AEW wanting to get the contracted amount of time out of the duo. It is expected by the talent that they'll be asked to put talent over at the very least if they are planning to leave the company. You know what I hate about this? The one thing that I hate about this is it absolutely ruins the reputation of what AEW is supposed to be. Do you know what was one of the biggest things that people were supporting AEW for? It's the fact that there was no pettiness involved. There was absolutely no pettiness involved, but after what Tony Khan did here, this was nothing more than a move made out of pettiness for the Lucha Bros, and I don't know why. Tony Khan was seen back then as the man that was free of pettiness. He wouldn't do anything that the WWE would do. He was focused on being anti-WWE, and he would not be making terrible and petty business decisions just like Vince McMahon would. Now that he's adding injury time to Rey Fénix's contract, it is clear as day he made this move out of pettiness because they're going to WWE. Why? Your roster is already super overbloated, and on top of that, Kevin Owens hasn't re-signed a new deal. Becky Lynch hasn't re-signed a new WWE deal. AJ Styles' deal could be expiring. There are chances that you could get those guys. You already have enough luchadors. I don't really understand why Tony Khan would decide to take the Vince McMahon route. And no, this isn't Tony Khan being a boss. Being a boss does not come with being petty. This really gives Tony Khan a bad reputation in the eyes of a lot of people in the IWC. I don't get it. I really don't get it. If they don't want to be there, just let them go. If they do not want to be there, just let them go. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I would be saying it if it's Triple H. I'd be saying it if it's Tony Khan. If you got people that don't want to be there for whatever fucking reason, whether they got a WWE ego, whether they just don't like the creative direction, whether or not they don't like the structure, whatever it may be, if you got people that aren't loyal to you, don't do business with them. Let them go. Let that be the end and move forward. Move on. I don't understand why we need to be in a position like this. I really don't understand why we need to be in a position like this where we are talking about Tony Khan extending a contract due to injury and following in the footsteps of undoubtedly one of the worst promoters in the history of the business, at least in the last 15 years, Vince McMahon. At this rate, you're going to have Tony Khan drawn in comparison to Vince McMahon. It's just Tony Khan's not on drugs like Vince McMahon was on steroids. Tony Khan does not have any sexual assault or rape allegations against him. And Tony Khan is not a guy that books based off of size and stature like Vince did. But as far as a creative standpoint, from a petty standpoint, you're going to have Tony Khan drawn in comparison to Vince McMahon. And trust me when I tell you, you don't want to be compared to Vince McMahon in any way, shape, or form. Bad move. Bad move by Tony Khan. Just let him go. Just let him go. At the end of the day, if anything, the biggest I told you so would be for Tony Khan to let him go and the Lucha Bros do not receive the proper treatment that they deserve on the main roster. Then you can rub it in their face. Then you could rub it in their face. If you want to be petty, let the Lucha Bros go. Let's see if they get paired up with the LWO. And guess what? If they do, then you can rub it in their face. Go ahead. Go ahead. AJ Styles. Let's talk about AJ Styles, and then we can move on. AJ Styles, he is set to make his return to Friday Night SmackDown next week. Many people within the industry are under the assumption that AJ Styles' contract expires in early 2025. So it would probably be around maybe February or March, somewhere around that point in time. Now, I don't know what is on the mind of AJ Styles. I don't know what is on the mind of AJ Styles. I don't know what exactly he wants to do. Maybe he is in a position where he just wants to earn a paycheck comfortably with the WWE, and he's transitioning into being more of a part-timer rather than a full-time wrestler. Maybe he wanted to take the summer off to spend with his kids. It's possible. It's very, very possible. However, there is a chance. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, it's definitely happening, but I'm a realist. And when it comes to being a realist, when it comes to being objective, you always have to take every single scenario into play. There is a chance that AJ Styles could very well continue his wrestling career outside of WWE. It all depends on where he wants to go. The only reason why he would leave WWE is to go to AEW and potentially become a more well-rounded professional wrestler. Hey, he can say he was in every single major wrestling company of the 2000s, right? The question is, what exactly would he do? Well, as we can see, the Young Bucks, they broke the internet this past week, and the Young Bucks, they were coincidentally, quote unquote, on the same flight as one Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon and the Young Bucks, they took a photo which seemingly set the internet ablaze just as much as Drew McIntyre and Jack Perry's photos set the internet ablaze. Now, I don't want to really make any assumptions here, but if they want to, AJ Styles could very well be coerced into leaving WWE, joining up with AEW, with Shane McMahon and the Young Bucks, and maybe we get a corporate-style elite. It's possible. Again, I don't know what AJ Styles' mindset is. AJ Styles apparently has a contract with WWE expiring in the early stages of 2025. We don't know whether or not he wants to continue wrestling for WWE, earn a paycheck comfortably as a part-timer, or does he want to leave, go to AEW, and be a more well-rounded professional wrestler? Well, with the fact that the Young Bucks took a picture with Shane McMahon, maybe that could coerce AJ Styles into leaving WWE and becoming a member of the corporate elite. That's realistically the only way that I could see AJ Styles going over to AEW, unless he's just going over there for the lighter schedule. And on top of that, I don't see Shane joining up with the Bucks. If anything, Shane is probably going to be the mastermind behind Moxley's new faction. But as far as AJ Styles goes, I do not believe he is going to leave WWE, but there is always a chance that he could. And you have to take that into consideration when talking about him. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I hope you guys are having a fun time on the stream so far. We are almost 52 minutes into the stream, and we are going to get into the weekly show reviews, and we're going to talk about what's going on with the weekly shows. We had some decent stuff on pro wrestling this week, but I do have some criticisms about WWE TV. We will get into that in just a little bit. Not to say that WWE put on bad shows this week, but they're falling into the same trap that they usually fall into when it comes to the fall and winter season. But regardless, I'd like to take a break and I'd like to shout out some more sponsorships. Now, if you guys are looking to gain driving lessons so that way you could prepare for your driver's tests, or if you guys are looking for a 90-minute refreshers course on the rules of the road, I got the place for you. It's called Golden Wheel Driving School, the premier driving school right here in Bergen County. And if you don't believe that Golden Wheel is the top of the line when it comes to driving lessons, well, just take a listen to what I got to say about Golden Wheel. Listen up, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about Golden Wheel Driving School. Now, did you guys know that since 1997, Golden Wheel Driving School has been the premier driving school in the state of New Jersey? They are renowned for many things, such as using quality driving instructors certified by the New Jersey DMV, using the latest model cars, all equipped with dual controls for maximum safety, and, of course, their commitment to ensuring a reliable learning environment for all of their students. And they also offer flexible packages for all different drivers amongst all different ages. So whether you need a 90-minute refresher course or an 8-hour multi-day beginner's course, Golden Wheel is indeed the place to be. And as you can see, they'll even drive to your house and pick you up. Ain't that right, my friend? So come on down, visit Golden Wheel, New Jersey's premier driving school, now serving both Bergen and Passaic County. Thank you very much to all the team members over at Golden Wheel Driving School for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and, of course, of the DJ Storms brand. Anyone that wants to get their hours in so that way they could pass their driving test, or if you need a 90-minute refreshers course, go and hit up Golden Wheel. The number is right there in the video. And of course, I'd like to talk about food again. I'd like to talk about some food again. Do you guys like high-quality Peruvian food? That's another one. That's another one, Rage. We got Chinese food. We got Greek food. We got Mediterranean food. We got Italian food. We got Peruvian food. We got everything. We got absolutely everything. I'll tell you about a great place to get some quality Peruvian food. It's called DNN Deli. They got homemade roast beef, homemade empanadas, straight out of Peru. So you know it is high quality. Peru's got some great empanadas, I must say. So if you guys are interested in some quality Peruvian food, you can go and visit my friend Will and the entire team over at DNN Deli. Listen up, and I'll tell you why you should go and check them out ASAP. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you got a hankering for Peruvian food, come and visit my friend Will over at DNN Deli. Let me tell you something. They got themselves some fantastic homemade roast beef, homemade empanadas, straight out of Peru as well, so you know it is quality. Once again, that is DNN Deli here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. And don't forget to catch Battle in the Borough, Saturday, October 19th, 2020. Thank you very much to Will and the entire team of DNN Deli for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. Now then, I'd like to move away from food for just a moment here, and I would actually like to talk about laundry. I know no one wants to talk about laundry, but it's pretty important because I'll tell you what, owning a washing machine and a dryer in this economy in 2024, it is expensive as all hell. So I'll tell you what, if you don't want to drain your wallet, wasting your money on buying the machines, I'll tell you where you can go. You can go and take a spin on over to My Laundry Room. My Laundry Room is a great place here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. I could walk there if I wanted to. It's literally just a short walk away from the Elmwood Park Rec Center, and they offer great laundry services at very reasonable prices. And if you don't believe me, well, listen up. I'll tell you a little bit more about My Laundry Room. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys require some professional laundry services, you guys should come on down to My Laundry Room. And I'm here to tell you why. First of all, they got a great reputation of over 30 years here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, which gives them first-class name brand recognition. Secondly, they got high-quality VIP wash and fold service, which entails that you get top-notch cleaning at a very reasonable price. And of course, you get the assurance that your order will be ready when promised. And finally, and most importantly, you get the customer satisfaction knowing that My Laundry Room is a clean and comfortable environment, has great staff, and above all else, is a place where the customer always comes first. So come on down, see Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all the great team members over here. My Laundry Room, where your dirty laundry is their business. And your dirty laundry is indeed their business over at My Laundry Room. Thank you very much to Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all the team members over at My Laundry Room for being official sponsors of Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. And for the time being, I'd like to shout out one more sponsorship right now. We'll shout out a little bit more sponsors later, but I'd like to shout out Elmwood Dental Professionals. Now, I'll tell you this. When it comes to eating all this different food that I'm promoting, you're going to need a high-quality dentist to make sure your teeth are in tip-top shape. So, again, a place in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Elmwood Park, New Jersey has got some quality places for everything. Quality dental services as well. You can go and take a spin on over, see my friend Dr. David Eidman, his son Dr. Daniel Eidman, and all of the team members over at Elmwood Dental Professionals right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and they will make sure your dental visits are as comfortable and smooth as they could possibly be. Listen up, I'll tell you why. Elmwood Dental Professionals is one of the premier dental practices in Bergen County, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys are looking for some quality dental care, have I got the place for you. For almost 40 years, Elmwood Dental Professionals has been one of the top-tier premier dental practices in Bergen County. Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and their entire team have employed a standard of excellence in personalized dental care, which combines uncompromising safety with extensive training and expertise. This enables them to provide the quality dental services that their patients deserve. As a practice, they are true believers that preventative care and education are the keys to optimal dental health. Their entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care that you deserve to make your visits as comfortable and pleasant as possible. Elmwood Dental Professionals, creating beautiful smiles, then, now, and forever. And they have indeed been creating beautiful smiles then, now, and forever. Thank you very much to Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and all of the team members over at Elmwood Dental Professionals for being official sponsors of Battle in the Borough and, of course, the DJ Storms brand. Anyway, let's get into the weekly show reviews, shall we? Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. I don't want to say it was a bad show because it wasn't. I wouldn't be doing my job correctly if I told you that it was a bad show, but WWE is falling into the same trap as they usually do every single time we get into the fall and the winter seasons. Every single time we get into that period between SummerSlam and WrestleMania season, SummerSlam and the Rumble specifically, the WWE, they tend to just coast. They tend to just coast through everything, and it really doesn't come off as well as it should. It doesn't. Now, we did get some good material on Raw, but it's clear as day that Raw lacked a couple things, lacked a certain amount of energy. We saw a lot of rematches. We saw a lot of scenarios that really didn't need to be on the show. The Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud has really cooled off. Not in the sense that, oh my God, no one wants to see the match, but they've done everything that they could possibly do, and we're all just waiting for the match, if we're going to be quite honest. We really are. We saw another women's tag team match, and the ending of the show, really, really left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. But the show kicked off with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. Liv Morgan was obviously bragging about how her and Dominic are winners. They replayed the beatdown last week on the Terror Twins. Liv Morgan then relished in taking everything from Rhea, so pretty typical shit. Rhea then came out. She said that she wouldn't be hitting Liv Morgan. Rhea told Dom to get out of her way. Liv said Dom wouldn't have left her if she cared about him just as much as she cared about Damian Priest. That was actually a decent line right there. Rhea said that she's fully cleared, and she said that Dom is the only reason why Liv Morgan is still champion. So at Bad Blood, Dom, you will be behind bars, hanging in a shark cage. And at Bad Blood, I will win back the one thing that I never lost, my Women's World Championship. Rhea then headbutted Liv, and that was the end of the segment. I'm actually going to make a bold prediction here. I do not believe that Rhea Ripley is going to win. I'm going to make that bold prediction. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but something tells me that one of two things is going to happen. Number one, Dom is going to drop something down from the cage, whether it be a chain, whether it be a pair of brass knucks, and Liv Morgan is going to use that to her advantage. Liv is going to use that to her advantage, and Liv Morgan is going to retain the championship. Or, some people have been throwing this theory around, Raquel Rodriguez, she has been out. Raquel has a history with Rhea Ripley, and Raquel isn't necessarily the biggest fan of Rhea Ripley. She has a history of a partnership with Liv Morgan as well. It was actually Liv Morgan who was one half of the women's tag team champions, and it was Rhea Ripley that injured her, thus resulting in Raquel having to relinquish the tag team titles. And Raquel, obviously, she's not happy about that. Not happy about that whatsoever, and she has a history with Rhea Ripley. So, by that logic, it would only make sense for Raquel Rodriguez to potentially return, and she could help Liv Morgan retain the championship. The reason why I say this is just because it seems all too obvious. It just seems all too obvious that Rhea Ripley is ultimately going to win the championship back. Now, I don't think Rhea needs to win the title back at all. I don't. If anything, Rhea Ripley could benefit from a draft over to SmackDown. I would trade Rhea Ripley over to SmackDown and give Liv Morgan a new challenger. But that's just me. But if anyone thinks otherwise, please let me know. I don't believe that Liv Morgan will be losing the championship next Saturday at Bad Blood. Sami Zayn and Ludwig Kaiser. They had a good match here. Sami Zayn ended up winning. Ludwig Kaiser, I will say this is very underrated from a singles competitor perspective. Gunther, he came out and he asked if Sami Zayn was really serious about this. Well, you know what? I've seen enough. I think Ontario is the right place for it. To tell you right now that my answer is no. Gotta love Gunther. Gunther's the biggest troll in professional wrestling today. Now, I still think that it's going to be at Bad Blood. If anything, it should be at Bad Blood. It needs to be at Bad Blood. Dragon Lee and Carlito. Another rematch. How many times do we need to see a member of the Judgment Day versus a member of the LWO? It's like a never-ending feud that WWE just doesn't fucking know how to finish. It's unbelievable. But hey, on the bright side, Dragon Lee with Operation Dragon. Holy fuck! Dragon Lee finally gets a win. Only took him, 87 fucking years to finally get a victory. Jesus Christ. Bronson Reed and The Miz. Bronson Reed and The Miz. They were supposed to have a match, but Braun Strowman, out of nowhere, attacked Bronson Reed, chokeslammed him on the apron. Bronson Reed with a tope suicida, double tsunami on the security guards, double chokeslam by Strowman, double clothesline by both men. The security actually had to stop both men and separate them. And next week, we got ourselves a last monster standing match between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. I'm not even going to bullshit you. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman have been the best part about Monday Night Raw for the last couple weeks. I'm not even bullshitting you. Just seeing these guys tear apart the entire backstage area and beat the shit out of each other, the most entertaining thing on WWE TV right now. No bullshit. Really is. Drew McIntyre, he came out to address the crowd. Drew said, "I've been thinking about Punk's words, and he meant it. Punk, for once in your life, you were truthful. You're ready to sacrifice it all for this to end. I've always been honest. I've been in Hell in a Cell match more than once. Your sisters begged you not to do this match. Your wife begged you not to do this match. I'll tell you what, my wife has begged me for months to just get away from you because she sees what this is doing to her husband mentally. Punk, I am going to make you bleed a lot, and I will make you feel pain. You are just a man, and a man that I will break permanently inside Hell in a Cell," said Drew McIntyre. Again, this was a solid promo. It was a decent little response to CM Punk's promo last week. However, I'm not going to lie to you. And again, this is something that no one really wants to admit, but this is the truth. At this point, there's really nothing more to be said. There's really nothing more to say. There's really nothing more to do. The only other things that that Punk and Drew could possibly do to each other right now is attack each other's wives. That's the only other thing that they could possibly do to enhance the feud even more. The feud is already at a fever pitch, and we are all collectively just waiting for the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. We're all collectively waiting for this Hell in a Cell match, and whatever they do in the next week or two, it doesn't really mean much of anything. I hate to say that, but the feud at this point, there is nothing more to be done. There is nothing more to be said. And we are all in a position where we just want to get to the match. And again, that's not on Punk. That's not on Drew. That's just where we are. That's just where we are. WWE has seemingly just given away all of its ammunition with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. They've given away all the ammunition, and now we are at a point in time where we just want to see the end of the feud. That's it. Not to discredit what Drew and Punk have done, not to discredit them. I'm just telling you what the reality of the situation is. Unholy Union versus Damage Control. How many fucking times do we need to see this? I swear to God, the women's tag team division, it is one of the biggest flaws in WWE right now, and we need to get rid of it ASAP, okay? It is not doing anyone any good. I am sorry. We need to get rid of this shit, and we need to get rid of this shit now. We do. Damage Control win. Who gives a fuck? Seriously, who gives a fuck? It's meaningless. Now they're going to fight Bianca and Jade. Bianca and Jade, by the way, they're the host of Bad Blood. It's been 1 year since Jade Cargill has signed with the WWE. And what has she done? She spent half the year away from TV because they were training her. And then when they brought her to TV, she wasn't even ready for a single spot. And they had to put her in a tag team spot with Bianca Belair. Yeah, Jade Cargill is really better off in the WWE than she is in AEW, right? She has done nothing. Nothing of substance whatsoever. Don't like it? Tough shit. New Day. New Day versus American Made. Looks like American Made is finally getting some wins behind them. This was a great thing to see. And the Xavier Woods heel turn is coming slowly but surely. I'm going to be keeping my eye on that, and I'm going to be very much in tune with what we get with that Xavier Woods heel turn. Xavier Woods, when he turns heel, it is going to be a great thing. And Xavier Woods, I can definitely see him being a challenger for a mid-card championship sooner rather than later. Speaking of the mid-card championship, Braun Breaker unsuccessfully defended the Intercontinental Championship against Jey Uso. Let's go over what happened in the match. Yes, Xavier Woods, the heel turn will feed families. It's about time that Xavier Woods gets a singles run. Let's go over what happened in the Jey Uso Braun Breaker match, and then I'm going to go over everything. Now, first of all, the match was very, very good. Match was pay-per-view worthy. Matter of fact, if they wanted to put it on Bad Blood, I would not have had an issue with that. So, Jey, with a super kick and a suicide dive, Jey Uso was brought onto the announce table, and Braun delivered a leaping apron clothesline to Jey Uso on the announce table. Jey mounted a comeback with a pop-up Samoan drop. We had a top rope Frankensteiner by Braun. Both men traded blows back and forth. We had a super kick by Jey, leaping lariat by Braun, military press into a power slam. Jey kicked out. Jey went up top, hit the Uso splash. Braun Breaker kicked out at 2.5. Braun popped up. Jey falls out of the ring. We had a super kick by Jey, spear through the barricade. Crowd was chanting, "Holy shit, holy shit." Spear in the ring, splash, 1, 2, 3, and Jey Uso wins the Intercontinental Championship over Braun Breaker. I'm really going to try and keep my cool here because I really want this to resonate with people, and I don't want to come off like a screaming lunatic. I'm going to try to remain cordial here, and I really want to try to remain in control. I'm really going to try not to scream here because I want to get this point across, and I really want to come off in an educational manner where I'm trying to bestow wisdom upon the masses of the IWC here. Jey Uso beat Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship last week on Monday Night Raw. Why was this a bad thing? And it was objectively wrong. This was an objectively bad creative decision. Why? I would like to pose a question first and foremost. What is Jey Uso as a singles wrestler minus the yeet catchphrase? Because I haven't heard anyone tell me what is Jey Uso when you take away the yeet catchphrase and you throw it in the garbage. What is he? It's maybe a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, but Jey Uso as a singles wrestler is nothing more than a tag team competitor that became a singles wrestler with a very limited moveset that just so happened to get over, luckily, because of a catchphrase. You may not like it, but that is the truth. Jey Uso has all but 5 moves: Samoan drop, super kick, spear, suicide dive, and Uso splash. The amount of moves that Jey Uso does, you can count on one hand. It may not sit well with people, but Jey Uso is not a good singles wrestler. He's not. He was never meant to be a singles wrestler. He just so happened to be a tag team wrestler that broke away from his brother because of a terrible decision that was made on WWE's part to have Jimmy turn on Jey back at SummerSlam 2023 in that match against Roman Reigns. And coming out of that, Jey Uso happened to blow up in a manner that no one could have ever predicted. Jey Uso blew up and became a major sensation because of sheer luck and sheer luck alone. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. That is the reality of the situation. Meanwhile, you take a look at Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is everything that anyone would want in a singles competitor, especially someone who you have plans to invest in from a long-term perspective. The guy has a great character. Not really sure what anyone is thinking when they say, oh, Braun Breaker's boring. Clearly, you haven't been watching him for the last 3 years, because if you were, you wouldn't say something so blatantly stupid. Braun Breaker is very charismatic at what he does. He is as legit as they come. He is more intense than Jey Uso. He is more fluid than Jey Uso. He is more innovative than Jey Uso. He's got a better look than Jey Uso. On top of that, who has the more long-term value when it comes to singles competition? Who has more longevity as a singles wrestler? Because it ain't Jey Uso. Jey Uso's momentum is not going to last forever. And for anyone trying to claim him to be the modern-day Jeff Hardy, my God, it's like people will just say anything for a reaction nowadays. Jey Uso is not the modern-day Jeff Hardy. There's never going to be another Jeff Hardy. So please, put that thought out of your mind. Braun Breaker is the young guy, the 25-year-old, the 26-year-old prodigy that has a lot of mileage left in him. He's the guy that could very well be in a main event position at WrestleMania within the next 5 to 6 years. So why exactly would you contemplate putting Jey over Braun Breaker? Jey Uso is, 40 years old or almost 40 years old? Age may just be a number, but Jey Uso, he already has the experience. And Jey Uso's already a made man. Jey Uso is a former 8-time, 9-time tag team champion. He is one half of the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history. He has had some of the greatest tag team matches in WWE's modern era. He recently main evented WrestleMania 39 last year in LA. Him and his brother are going to go into the Hall of Fame. I hope you understand that. Him and his brother will go into the Hall of Fame. Jey Uso's value is not as a singles wrestler, but in the end, Jey Uso's already a made man. Jey Uso will go into the Hall of Fame with his brother if they retired tomorrow. The whole point of Braun Breaker being the Intercontinental Champion was for him to get to that point. The whole point was for Braun Breaker to get to that position of being a made man. But how is he supposed to do that only holding the title for 51 days? This is another thing that people need to understand. Short title reigns are not beneficial to the title, nor are they beneficial to the competitor. I'm not saying you need to hold the title for 4 years like Roman Reigns, but there's no reason why Braun Breaker should be holding the title for anything less than 150 days. That is a nice sweet spot to develop credibility, showcase what you can do as a champion, and see if you are worth investing as a champion again in the future. Transitional championship reigns do nothing but devalue the championship, treats it like a hot potato, and it diminishes the momentum and the credibility of the people holding it. And that's exactly what happened with Breakker. He's not buried. Never once said that he was buried, never will. But his momentum has been ruined. Now they need to start from scratch. They need to start from scratch, and they need to rebuild his momentum and credibility up from the ground. And the fact that they're turning him babyface, why are they turning him babyface when there is so much mileage left on him as a heel? Matter of fact, they left so much on the table by having him lose the title to Jey Uso. Look at how many other opponents you could have had Braun Breakker fight. Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, John Cena. John Cena's beginning his retirement tour next year. How great would it have been to go into the Royal Rumble or to go into the Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania, or hell, even at WrestleMania? How great would it have been to put John Cena against Braun Breakker at one of those 3 pay-per-views going on the road to WrestleMania and having John Cena put over Braun Breakker? You could build the story of John Cena going after the one championship that has eluded him his entire career. Now they may not have a chance to do that. And if Braun Breakker wins the Intercontinental Championship back, I'm going to ask, why did you even take it off him to begin with? Does anyone remember what happened to Braun Breakker at the beginning of 2022? They had him win the NXT Championship over Tommaso Ciampa. He lost it to Dolph Ziggler 2 months later, and then he won it back a month later on the Raw after WrestleMania 38. And Braun Breakker was never the same again after that little stint with Dolph Ziggler as the NXT champion. That killed Braun Breakker's mystique, and it killed Braun Breakker's momentum. Braun was never the same again. The only time that Braun got himself back on the right track after that loss was when he turned heel. I don't get it. I don't understand, after everything that I just laid out, how anyone could support Jey Uso as the Intercontinental Champion right now. It's not so much that Braun lost. It's about the amount of time that he held the title before he lost it. Maybe if he held it for another 4 or 5 more months after this past Monday, maybe the blow would have been lessened a little bit more. But the fact of the matter is that Braun Breakker's momentum was destroyed because they had a guy who's already a made man beat him. They had him lose the title way too soon, and they gave it to a guy who is merely over because of a catchphrase, and a guy whose singles momentum is going to die out within the next year or two. Once he gets back together with his brother Jimmy, Jey Uso's singles run is going to be nothing more than a distant memory. Matter of fact, I guarantee you that if Braun Breakker doesn't win back the Intercontinental title, many of you are going to forget by the time Thanksgiving rolls around. Many of you will forget that Braun Breakker was even the Intercontinental Champion for that short period of time. You could like Jey Uso all you want. I'm not telling you who you can and cannot like, but Jey Uso beating Braun Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship, it was the wrong decision. You may not like it, but that is the truth. And that's what separates me from everyone else. Everyone else chooses to be blinded by their own fandom. Meanwhile, I choose to think from a factual perspective, and I choose to think in terms of a long-term perspective as to what is going to benefit the company the best 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now. You want to think that Jey Uso being the Intercontinental Champion right now is a good decision? Go ahead. I don't care, because I know, and I do believe that deep down a lot of other people know, that these individuals that are supporting Jey Uso winning the title over Braun Breakker, they are what I like to call mentally retarded. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that. A very, very poor decision, and anyone who is in support of that, you seriously should reconsider your hobby. You seriously should reconsider your hobby, and you should not be watching professional wrestling, really. Put your fandom aside. Put your fandom aside and think about the greater good of the company, okay? Think about it. It's not a joke. Moving on here. Let's talk about Grand Slam. Dynamite Grand Slam. Dynamite Grand Slam was actually a very good show. Matter of fact, it was probably the best Dynamite that we've seen since the Chicago show following Forbidden Door. Grand Slam started off with Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson. Bryan ended up showing up and he entered to the final countdown, and my oh my, it was a wonderful, and I mean a wonderful thing to see. Crowd was hyped. Crowd was hyped for this. I was very intrigued to see this because this is the first time I'm seeing a Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson match one-on-one, and it delivered. It very much delivered. Now, Nigel is a bit slower. Nigel is a bit slower than what he once was, but nevertheless, this being his first singles match in God knows how many years, you better bring your A game. You better bring your A game, and he brought his A game here against Bryan Danielson. Nigel, I almost dropped my phone there. Nigel, very nice back and forth here. Nigel bounced Bryan off of the steps. We had a big drop kick by Bryan and the yes kicks in the corner. Bryan with the Busaiku knee, but he couldn't make the cover. Nigel hung upside down, and he fell back right into the final cut for a 2 count. Nigel grabbed at the injured arm of Bryan. Nigel with the rebound lariat, but Bryan kicked out. At 1, by the way. Crowd was hyped up. Crowd came alive, and Bryan got hit with a ripcord lariat. Bryan got hit with the Tower of London. Very nicely done. Bryan kicked out. Bryan reversed the Shankly Gates into the hammer and anvil elbows. Both men traded strikes back and forth. Bryan tried to rebound, but Nigel caught him with a lariat. Bryan kicked out. Bryan with a label lock. It was in very deep. Nigel ended up tapping after he said thank you, as he finally got his wish to get the match with Bryan, and that was that. That was pretty much that. Now, the build, very rushed. Everything surrounded this match just came out of thin air simply because they were desperate to sell tickets. But, I will say this, the match was very good. The match was very good, and if Nigel wants to be a consistent competitor going forward, I would not mind it whatsoever. Because Nigel, he's a very good promo. He can cut a great promo, and he's very solid in the ring, and I'm sure with some time, if they continue to do this over and over and over again with some time, Nigel McGuinness could absolutely pick up some steam and become a solid player on AEW TV. So Christian Cage came out. And Christian Cage, he was going to cash in his contract. But Christian Cage had the pen stolen out of his hand by Kip Sabian. Christian ran back and ran into Pac and Claudio. So I'm guessing that Pac and Claudio are going to be keeping their eyes on Christian Cage as we draw nearer to WrestleDream, because we're going to get Bryan versus Moxley at WrestleDream. Hook versus Roderick Strong. This was for the FTW Championship. This was a decent match. Nothing all too crazy, but it was decent for what it was. No DQ, obviously, so Hook was hitting all 3 men of the Undisputed Kingdom with kendo sticks. We had a Northern Lights suplex for a 2. Taven gave Strong a chair. We had a face buster on Hook. Hook then kicked out of a gut buster on the chair and a sick kick. Hook locked in the Red Rum. Roderick Strong tapped out. And Roderick Strong gave Hook a handshake afterwards as a sign of respect. Now, after the match, I was going on and on about how this meant nothing and how the FTW title is holding Hook back and it needs to retire. Now, Tony Schiavone, he interviewed Hook afterwards. And he said, all good things must come to an end. Hook said, thank you to everyone who fought for this title and all of the people who supported it. From this moment on, the FTW Championship is officially retired. He then handed it over to Taz. They embraced, had a father and son moment, and that was it. Now, this was an excellent move. The match itself was all right, but it was really nothing memorable. But the move to retire the FTW Championship itself, it's almost as if I spoke it into existence. I spoke it into existence, and I was able to convince AEW to finally retire the FTW Championship. This was a great move. This was a great move. The title didn't mean anything. It was really holding Hook back, and now hopefully we can move forward and Hook could be challenging for some other championships. Let's see what else they got on the table for Hook. I wanted to take a little break here. I want to shout out some more sponsorships. I want to shout out Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes. Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes is a great interior landscaping company run by Mr. George Macbeth, and I greatly appreciate how much George Macbeth has been in support of the DJ Storms brand, and of course, Battle in the Borough taking place this October 19th specifically. I will continue to say it. You can get your tickets right now. Call 201-507-2577 or DM me. Serious inquiries only. Tickets are only $25. But if you guys are looking for some great interior landscaping for your residential or corporate business setting, listen to this little word from your boy about why you should go and check out Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to share a little bit of information with you. As many people know, plants are extremely critical to any interior design. Matter of fact, research indicates that good interior landscaping is not only desirable, but it is a must-do green initiative to keep customers both happy and healthy. Now, at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, they believe that plants, they do more than just occupy a corner of a lobby. That is why they offer a full line of interior landscapes for both corporate and residential settings, from office plantscaping, living walls, moss walls, and even plant and orchid arrangement. Macbeth Farm is your go-to resource for all of your professional horticulture needs. You guys can contact Macbeth at 201-387-7997, or you can see all of their creations online at macbethfarm.com. That is MacBethfarm.com. Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, a family-owned business providing distinctive interior plantscaping for businesses across New Jersey and the Philadelphia area. And they have indeed been providing great interior landscapes in the New Jersey and the Philadelphia area. Thank you very much to George Macbeth and all of the team members over at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes for being official sponsors for Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. And speaking of Battle in the Borough, I'd like to talk about Battle in the Borough a little bit because we got ourselves one hell of a card going down at Battle in the Borough. If you guys were unaware, I made the announcement earlier this week. Spencer Slade, he was initially set to fight Crowbar for the Savage Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. That is not the case. That is not the case. And now we will see a new man step up. His name is Greek God Papa Don. And Papa Don, he is the current Colossal Championship Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. And he is going to be putting his championship on the line against a man who he has never fought before. It is going to be Papa Don versus Crowbar at Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th. You should get your tickets right now. First time ever match. First time that these two have ever fought. Back during the Rescue Mania days, if you remember the Rescue Mania days, it was Crowbar that recruited Papa Don to the shows, and we never got to see this match. Well, now you will get to see this match, and it is going to main event Battle in the Borough. Another first time ever match that I want to talk about is this match right here. One of my guests on the countdown for Battle in the Borough this past Thursday was Kenny Bangle. And Kenny Bangle, lay back and as confident as ever, he will be taking on Rick Recon for the very first time in his career. The very first time in his career. And we will see these two lock up. Rick Recon, he has been running roughshod across the tri-state area over the course of the last couple years. He's a two-time ISPW champion, current Ace Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, and and he's one of the winners of the King of ISPW tournament in Totowa, New Jersey. Although he recently just lost the ISPW World Heavyweight title to GKM last Friday. So I don't know about you guys, but I do believe that could play into effect in this match. Can Rick Recon rebound off the loss, or will Kenny Bangle get the biggest win of his career? You guys are going to have to get your tickets in order to find out. But we do have a highly contested women's match going down at Battle in the Borough, and it is Tiffany Grady versus Tiffany Avatar. It's the Battle of the Tiffs. The Battle of the Tiffs, if you will. And I did speak to Ashley Stevie, and Ashley Stevie has elected to grant Tiffany Avatar the opportunity to defend the Kaiju Professional Wrestling Phoenix Division Championship against Grady. These two women are 1-1, although Grady doesn't really classify it as a 1-1 score because Avatar beat her in a tag team match. Regardless, I still count it as 1-1. This is the rubber match, and it is for all the marbles. Who will be the face of the Kaiju Pro Wrestling Phoenix Division after Battle in the Borough? You're going to have to get your tickets to find out. Aside from women's action, we also have some great tag team action. Tag team wrestling is one of the most innovative forms of pro wrestling in my eyes, and we will have two of the greatest tag teams up and down the East Coast. It is the brother tag team of Micah and Seth Cortez, former two-time and the first ever Outlaw Professional Wrestling Tag Team Champions, taking on Vic Delicious and Hale Collins, the now three-time and record-setting ISPW World Tag Team Champions. It is extremely personal between these two because back in February at the Last Dance at Outlaw Pro Wrestling in Brooklyn, it was the Audacity that had a 2-on-1 advantage over Hale Collins. And it was indeed the Audacity that ended up beating Hale Collins in a 2-on-1 scenario to become the Outlaw Professional Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Vic Delicious and Hale Collins have been foaming at the mouth, waiting for their chance at redemption. Now they get it. Who is going to win? Who is the best tag team in the East Coast? Well, you're going to have to get your tickets. They're only $25. Meet and greet starting at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. bell time. We also got some more championship matches. We got a big-time championship match going down between the 21-year-old prodigy, Marcus Mathers, and Dr. Sleep himself, Anthony Gangone. Anthony Gangone says that he is the one that calls the shots. Anthony Gangone has said that he is going to be the guy that ends up snuffing out the momentum of Marcus Mathers. And I spoke to Billy Fetsky of Titan Championship Wrestling. He has allowed Anthony Gangone to defend the TCW Mobfi TV American Championship at the show against Marcus Mathers. Can Mathers solidify his place and win the championship, or will Dr. Sleep put Mathers to sleep with that mandible claw that he loves to use so much? There's only one way to find out. You can call 201-507-2577, or you can get your tickets out the door or DM me for serious inquiries only. Now, we do have a big match going down tonight. And it is the Revolver, Alex Ryman, taking on Big Bruno, Lou Bruno, for the Pro Wrestling Magic World Heavyweight Championship going down at Pro Wrestling Magic back from vacation. And the crazy thing is that I spoke to Mr. Steve Off. He is the co-founder and head creative member of Pro Wrestling Magic. Whoever wins this match will go on to my show, Battle in the Borough, to defend the title against their respective opponent. So if Bruno ends up walking out victorious, he will indeed be defending the championship against his best friend, Mateo Marcelos. Blanco has made it very clear that he looks to knock Mateo down a few pegs. Mateo, he says that nothing else means that much other than winning the championship because he wants to step out of the shadow of El Oso Blanco. Who's going to win? Gonna have to find out. But whether or not The championship's on the line. This match will take place. But if Ryman wins, then he is going to defend the Pro Wrestling Magic World Heavyweight Championship against Big Dog Zilla himself, one half of the Silk City Kings, Bulldog Pittman. Pittman says that he's got a shock collar with Ryman's name on it. The question is will that shock collar be enough to put down the revolver and give Bulldog Pittman the World Heavyweight Championship? You are going to have to get your tickets to find out. A lot of great matches going down at Battle in the Borough. And thank you to everyone who has been incredibly supportive of this. Thank you very much to John Blaine, by the way. John Blaine, who will be on the commentary booth for Battle in the Borough. Cannot wait to see him again. He is going to be there, as well as I would like to thank Toto Tom. He won't be there because he's got a high school reunion to go to. But I would really like to thank Toto Tom for his support. I like Toto Tom, even though many people in Totowa don't really like their own hometown hero. But I like Toto Tom, and I genuinely believe that Toto Tom is a nice guy. So I very much appreciate the support from Totowa Tom. Finally, I'd like to shout out one more sponsorship for the time being, and then we will continue on with Grand Slam. I'd like to shout out the Ruggles Shop, my main man Kevin over at the Ruggles Shop. He has been there for the last 9 months, and he is looking to really amp up the business a bit, which is why he partnered up with me for Battle in the Borough, and of course, for the DJ Storms brand, because he is a great guy and he is looking to support the town and support the greatest sport on the planet, that is professional wrestling. If you want to know what the Ruggles Shop has in store for you, listen up. I got a word for you as to why you should take a spin on over to the Ruggles Shop if you are in the area. Gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'm coming here with one of the best kept secrets in Bergen County, the Ruggles Shop. For the last 10 months, this place has been serving up some quality baked goods, including chocolate chip cookies, pecan sandies, and of course, homemade ruggles. And if you come on in right now, my main man Kevin over here, he will make you a quality smoothie that is not only healthy, but it is also delicious. Take my word for it, people. The Ruggles Shop, you are going to want to check this place out. And you are indeed going to want to check out that place. Thank you very much to Kevin and the Ruggles Shop for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand and an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough. Let's get back to Grand Slam, shall we? Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. This was fucking awesome. Easily the best match of the night. Easily the best match of the entire week. Matter of fact, this was Young Bucks of old. This was 2021 Young Bucks. Remember when the Young Bucks were the tag team champions back in the day and they were really making those titles feel prestigious? This was 2021 Young Bucks we got here. Easily the best championship defense of their current reign as we speak. Very pleased with what we got with this match. Although it was made out of desperation, clearly made out of desperation. We didn't need to see that. If anything, you could have easily built up a legit tag team to fight the Young Bucks, but they didn't. Either way, Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, excellent performance. And in the end, Don Callis ended up costing his team because Don Callis, he gave Kyle Fletcher the screwdriver. Will Ospreay told him not to use it. And we had a little bit of conflicting opinions there. In the end, Fletcher loses thanks to an EVP trigger. Young Bucks retain. Great match. We need more of that. We need more of that going forward. Tony Schiavone, he interviewed Prince Nana, and Nana was asked about Swerve. Nana said that Swerve means a lot to him. There is nothing that can stop him mentally, but physically he is not cleared to compete. All of a sudden, MVP comes out. MVP comes out and he said that Nana already knows him. He says that Swerve was the most dangerous man of AEW. Matter of fact, he is the most phenomenal individual to step foot in an AEW ring. 8 months without being pinned or submitted. I saw everything that I needed to. But why was that man, why did that man allow his house to be burnt to the ground? Why is he still walking? Why is Paige still walking? Pretty much he implied. Why isn't he in the ground? I blame that on his management. So you know what? When Swerve is ready to ascend, please give him my business card and I'll be ready to talk business. I don't know what's going to go on here, but is Swerve going to be the new leader of the Hurt Syndicate? I can get behind that. I really can. I'd be down for that. I'd really, really be down for that. This definitely opens up the door for a lot of interesting new avenues for Swerve. And this is a great means of putting the Hangman and Swerve rivalry on hold. Hangman can win the world title, and then we can move on with Hangman going into the new year as champion, and Swerve can take the title from Hangman at All in July. It's a great way to do things. Great way to do things. Yuka Sakazaki versus Mariah May. This only went about 6 minutes. Very basic, very lifeless match here. Mariah May retains the championship. If anything, the whole thing felt rushed. The whole thing felt incredibly rushed. And Mariah May ended up retaining. Willow came out to stop the attack. Mina came out, and Mariah May just ran out. Nothing had the chance to breathe. It just came off very, very blah. It really did. And normally, the AEW women's division, it has a lot of substance. But ever since All In ended, there hasn't really been much substance whatsoever in the women's division. It's actually very disappointing. Very disappointing seeing what the women's division was doing prior to All In versus what they're doing right now. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. We should be in a better position with the women's division overall. We really should be. Jon Moxley. He took on Darby Allin. This was the main event of the show, and this was for the right to challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Dream. This was a very good match. Very, very, very good match. Matter of fact, I would say that this was probably the best Jon Moxley Darby Allin match that we've seen out of all the matches that we've seen so far. Very, very, very good match. It came off very, very well. Everything just flowed extremely well. They told the story of Darby Allin being that come from behind babyface, Darby Allin being the guy that is trying to just prove Jon Moxley wrong. Everything that happened here, it just came off incredibly well. Jon Moxley's new heel character, it feels legit. It feels genuine. It now feels like we have a great sense of direction for Jon Moxley. This is probably the best that Jon Moxley has looked since his feud with Hangman. That was the last time that Jon Moxley really felt like he was in a top-tier position and he felt important. When he was fighting Hangman Adam Page, and we had that phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal, series of matches with Moxley and Hangman that culminated in that amazing Texas Death Match back in March of 2023. Jon Moxley ended up winning with a paradigm shift from the top. And in the end, Bryan, he came out and he went right after Moxley. Bryan said, "You wanted a war? I declare war. You and me at Wrestle Dream, and I'm going to kick your fucking head in." And that was how the show went off the air. Very good show. Probably the best Dynamite that we've seen since the Chicago show after Forbidden Door. Now, the question that I have is, what exactly is going to happen going forward? Are we going to get a new sense of structure now? I don't know, because it doesn't seem like Tony Khan really wants to put forth a sense of structure. and he isn't putting as much effort as he should be putting into his shows. July was a great month for them. August wasn't really all that good. September's been up and down. But we really need to amp up AEW TV a bit. And we need to start flushing out Wrestle Dream. We really need to start flushing out Wrestle Dream because things just are not coming off well. They really aren't. So it seems as though Willow, she's going to be challenging Mariah May for the championship, although it doesn't really make any sense because she recently just lost to Chris Statlander. But that seems to be the match. Maybe we'll see Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May potentially at Full Gear. All depends on which way they want to go. But we got one good show. Can they build on this? Well, that remains to be seen. That was easily the best show of the week. I'm just letting that out of the way. That was easily the best show of the week. Before we get into the SmackDown and the Rampage portion of the show, I want to shout out my last two sponsorships. I want to shout out Toasted. Bagels, Deli, and Cafe here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Thank you very much to Safa and the entire team over at Toasted for being an official sponsor for Battle in the Borough and, of course, an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. Here is a word from Safa and yours truly as to why you should go and check out Toasted. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I am here with the owner of Toasted. Her name is Safa and also her team.
Hi, guys.
Safa, how are you today?
I'm good.
Let me ask you, how long have you been living in Elmwood Park right now?
I was born and raised in Elmwood Park, so basically 20 years.
That's amazing. And tell us a little bit about Toasted.
So we are a woman-owned business. We're also Middle Eastern-owned. We come from a Middle Eastern background. We also have our smoke shop right next door, Moonstar Smoke Shop. We just saw this opportunity and we wanted to fill the gap. So we have a lot of experience in the food industry, and we thought it would be an amazing opportunity to open something for the whole family. So we're very excited to bring this to the Elmwood Park community, and thank you guys so much for all your support.
And the Elmwood Park community thanks you. Ladies and gentlemen, Safa and the team of Toasted. I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Be sure to get your tickets right now for Battle in the Borough on October 19th, 2024. Thank you very much to Safa and the entire team over at Toasted for being official sponsors of Battle in the Borough and, of course, the DJ Storms brand. And my final sponsorship, I would like to shout out Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. Thank you very much to Vito of Vito's Pizza and Restaurant for being official sponsors of the brand. They got some pretty damn good pizza over here at Vito's Pizza, which is right across the street from Toasted. So you can go to Toasted for breakfast and Vito's for lunch. Here's a word from your boy about why you should check out Vito's Pizza and Restaurant right here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I am here in front of Vito's Pizza and Restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Some of the best pizza in Bergen County. If you're hungry, hell, even if you're not, come and stop by Vito's Pizza. And of course, be sure to catch Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Tickets, $25 at the door. DM me or call 201-507-2577. All of my sponsorships are fantastic. Thank you very much to everyone sponsoring Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. It certainly means a lot to me, and hopefully we'll be able to do plenty more partnerships as we advance further and further into the new year when we get into 2025 and as we advance further and further along with what we're doing. SmackDown. Let's go over SmackDown here. In similar fashion to Raw, SmackDown wasn't bad. But I'm telling you, WWE, like I said, they are falling into that laziness category. They really are. A lot of things on SmackDown didn't even make sense. Specifically, the introduction. The introduction did not make any sense. And we're going to talk about that. Because Randy Orton kicked off the show. By the way, they didn't sell out SmackDown. Just letting everyone know. They didn't sell out. Randy Orton kicked off the show. He said that he missed being in a SmackDown ring. He invited Cody out to the ring. Cody came out. Cody did his usual shtick. Cody said Orton deserves an explanation for him teaming with the Bloodline. Now, this ought to be good. Even though it may be foolish, Roman gave me his word. He wasn't lying when he said he would do anything to keep this, and I'm going to be taking him at his word. I'm standing here with the legend killer, and I'd hope you understand when I say that this rogue bloodline has grown too much and it needs to be killed, and I hope that's not a problem for you. Orton said, no problem, unless, of course, you make it a problem. Out comes Kevin Owens. Before Owens could even say something, the bloodline comes out. Solo said, very happy you are all in the ring. Before I got started, Oklahoma City, acknowledge me. But I'll tell you this, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that Roman gave you his word, and you should indeed take it, because you are going to need him, since the two men in the ring aren't going to be of any use to you. They always let you down. The reason you are teaming with Roman is because Orton and Owens have always let you down. Owens then told Solo to shut up. He challenged the Bloodline to a tag team match. Solo obviously accepted. Cody wanted in, but Owens stopped him. So first of all, the only good part about this segment is the fact that Kevin Owens is going to end up turning heel. And if that's the case, listen, I'm going to be for that. I'm very much looking forward to a Kevin Owens heel turn. This is going to be fucking great. Really. But I'm not really understanding everyone's praise for this segment when all we've been seeing is the same shit over and over again. This is the same segment with the Bloodline, Orton, Owens, and Cody that we've been seeing. It's the same shit every single week. At this point, I would be shocked if Orton, Owens, and Cody aren't going into the War Games against the new Rogue Bloodline on November 30th. I'd be shocked. But I really want to try and understand what is going on here. I really want to try and understand what's going on here. Cody Rhodes said that the reason why he's teaming with Roman is because Roman gave him his word, and he said that the new Rogue Bloodline needs to be killed. Really, the new Rogue Bloodline needs to be killed. Cody Rhodes is claiming that the reason why he's teaming with Roman is because the new Rogue Bloodline needs to be killed. Really? Can I ask y'all a question? Is this new Rogue Bloodline even a threat? What threat do they pose? Cody just beat Solo twice. The second time was clean. What exactly does Cody have left to prove? Why does Cody need to go up against the Rogue Bloodline after he already proved his superiority? And then on top of that, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, they were taken out together when Roman Reigns came back. The only legitimate guy in the new bloodline is Jacob Fatu. So I ask, how much of a threat really is the new Rogue Bloodline? I'm sorry, but that ain't a good enough reason. That reason, it ain't valid. It doesn't check out. The whole reason why Cody is teaming with Roman is because they don't have any challengers for Cody to face at Bad Blood. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The new Rogue Bloodline needs to be killed. The new Rogue Bloodline ain't even a threat. After SummerSlam, the new Rogue Bloodline has not been of any concern to anyone. Are they causing chaos backstage? Are they attacking people left, right, and center? Are they taking over the show? No. Solo Sikoa has already proven that he's mortal. Cody Rhodes has already proven that Solo Sikoa is of nothing to be concerned about. If it wasn't for Jacob Fatu, this new Rogue Bloodline would be as lame and as illegitimate as you could possibly get. There is no reason why anyone would take the new Rogue Bloodline seriously after SummerSlam. Going into SummerSlam, they were booked very well. But after SummerSlam, I mean, holy shit. The new Rogue Bloodline coming out of SummerSlam has been a fucking joke. It's really been a joke. Jacob Fatu is the only guy that has any sense of legitimacy in that faction. Sorry if you don't like it, but that's the truth. That is the truth. The explanation makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. If anything, you could have just did Solo versus Roman, and then you could have did Cody versus Jacob Fatu. It's not like wins and losses matter anyway, but they're not going to do that because they want to protect Jacob Fatu. Maybe if you actually built up some challengers for Cody Rhodes, we wouldn't be in this match, this mess. Almost said match. Either way, match, mess, same thing. Naomi versus Bayley, #1 contenders match. This was actually a very good women's match, but it had the wrong winner. Now, unless Naomi is joining the Bloodline, of course, I really don't understand why we needed to have Bayley go up against Nia again. Unless Tiffany's probably going to cash in, maybe. I don't really know, but I would have much rather have gone with Naomi than Bayley, because Naomi, she has actually put on a better match with Nia Jax, more so than Bayley in the past. So Naomi would have been the better match. That's what I'm going based off of. Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, part number 6. Now, let me get the positive out of the way first. This was a great match. Matter of fact, this was absolutely the best match of the entire series that we've seen between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. It's been fantastic. Matter of fact, this was pay-per-view worthy. You could have easily put this on Bad Blood if you wanted to. This was fucking great. Fantastic shit. However, I made a point before the match even began. This is the 6th match that we've seen between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes within the last 2 months. At some point, it becomes overkill. And we're at that point. It has become overkill. I'm sorry. Things have become overkill, and it is just too goddamn much. We've seen it time and time again, to a point where I'm sick of it. I'm done. After this series is over, these two should stay far away from each other for at least 1.5 to 2 years. I would really like to see some other creative decisions made for both Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. If anything, what we have right here is a scenario where WWE doesn't know what to do with either of these guys. So now they're pairing them together, and now they have LA Knight floating around with them. We're probably going to get LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title, and then afterwards, Andrade's probably going to tie with Carmelo Hayes in the series, and then we're probably going to get a triple threat match between all 3 men. Maybe. But this was a great match, and LA Knight ended up costing Andrade the victory. Carmelo Hayes gets the win. The series is tied at 3-3. Next week, AJ Styles. He will be making his return to Friday Night SmackDown. Next week, we also got a ladder match for the WWE Tag Team titles. It's going to be Street Profits, DIY, and the Bloodline. That should be pretty damn good. Looking forward to seeing that. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Another rematch. Seen this time and time again. But I will give WWE credit because they made things interesting with Cody getting shoved into the referee. Cody got shoved into the referee, and Cody Rhodes ended up costing Kevin Owens the victory because Owens hit the stunner, and the referee got shoved by Cody. He didn't see the cover. So it seems as though the tension is building. Kevin Owens' heel turn is coming sooner rather than later, and I am certainly going to be here for that. Now, one thing that WWE needs to be very, very careful about is when we get this Kevin Owens heel turn, when we get this Kevin Owens heel turn, this is going to be a very, very, very intriguing scenario to see how they go about it. Because if Kevin Owens gains enough steam and momentum as a heel, we're going to have a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, advocating for Kevin Owens to take the WWE Championship off of Cody Rhodes. Not even bullshitting you. We will. We will. That was SmackDown. Again, not a bad show, but a lot of rematches. A lot of rematches. Oh, by the way, Michin defeated Piper Niven. We have a dumpster match next week in Nashville. That was pretty much that. That was pretty much that. Not necessarily a bad show, but still. Rampage, same shit, different week with Rampage. We got a couple of decent matches. Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews, they defeated Leo Rush and Action Andretti. I really don't know why we aren't pushing Malachi and Buddy in the tag team division. I mean, it's really fucking stupid. Anna Jay, she defeated Robin Renegade. She is back from Japan. Konosuke Takeshita defeated Angelico. The Acclaim defeated a couple of jobbers. And Willow Nightingale, she defeated Taya Valkyrie. And that was pretty much that. That's your weekly show, reviews. Your week in professional wrestling has been concluded. We are clocking in at 2 hours and 5 minutes. Thank you very much, everyone who tuned into the stream. You guys are fucking great, especially Raging Girl Gamer, coming in with over $60 of donations. Holy shit, Raging Girl Gamer. There is very few people like Raging Girl Gamer. Thank you very much for the support. It means a lot. I cannot thank you enough for all the support. You are fucking fantastic. Thank you very much to everyone else who decided to join in. It certainly means a lot. We got plenty, and I mean we got plenty of more material to come. I am going to be at the Pro Wrestling Magic Back from Vacation show later today. And I'm telling you, you are going to want to be there because we got Alex Ryman defending the world title against Bruno. We also got Mateo Marcelos. He's taking on Steve Off. And one match that I'm genuinely intrigued in, Vinny Pacifico versus Crowbar. That's a first-time ever match that I don't think I've ever seen. I am going to be very much intrigued to see what goes on there. We got ourselves one hell of a show going down tonight. And then, of course, we got one hell of a show going down on October 19th for Battle in the Borough. Thank you very much, everyone, for stopping on by. I am DJ Storms, and this has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, let me take a sip of my ice water here. And let me ask y'all, who runs the IWC? There's only one answer. Now, Papa Don, he's a great guy, but he tried to steal my phrase there, but ain't no one stealing my phrase here. Who runs the IWC? Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution!